Hey guys, WhiteFox1225 here, and today we're going to be talking about some hints that were in the Clockwork City DLC that seem to indicate the next expansion will take place in the Summerset Isles. First, I'm going to go over some of that evidence, and then after that, we'll go into what a Summerset Isles expansion might actually look like. Before I start though, I will warn you the video will have a lot of spoilers for some of the quest lines in ESO, so if you haven't played any of that content and you don't want it spoiled for you, now is the time to click away. But let's get started. So there is a ton of overwhelming evidence that the next expansion will take place in the Summerset Isles. It all came with the Clockwork City DLC. The best example is that in the Clockwork City DLC, there's a quest where you travel to a fabricant capable of predicting the future. And at the end of the quest, you can have him predict yours. And here's what he says. I'll just play the video real quick.
Dreaming. 1 niche. 2 niche. Prophecy complete. I see an island, a tower, 3 princes, darkness spreading across the land. I see a golden knight and an unexpected sacrifice. I see an end. Everything must perish. That is the way of all reality. But the end that I see, you can alter the outcome. The variables indicate a minuscule percentage point in your favor. A chance, Lord Set and the 3 willing. Reflecting. Probabilities calculated. Odds generated. Demise certainty, 99.99%. And Summerset is the sequence of the words.
So the fact that he mentions an island and the word Summerset is a pretty big clue that maybe we're heading there in the future. But that's not the only time Summerset is mentioned in the DLC. Even in the final boss fight, the enemy mentions how the continuing war with the Daedra is not over and they'll see you again on the shores of Summerset. And if even that wasn't enough to convince you, Sota still mentions the Summerset Isles a lot, even in the final quest. I'm pretty much positive that we'll be visiting the Summerset Isles pretty soon. I think there's enough evidence to feel really confident about it, and it's almost impossible that we don't go there in the future. So what about the other details the Fabricant mentions in his prophecy? He also talks about a tower, 3 princes, and a golden knight. Well, the 3 princes are definitely a reference to the 3 Daedric princes that have been referred to as a triad. They're part of the ongoing plotline for the DLC. Those are Nocturnal, Mephala, and Clavicus Vile, so expect to see them very soon in the future. The tower is most likely a reference to the Crystal Tower, which lies in the Summerset Isles. It's a sacred high elf tower similar to the Wykel Tower in Cyrodiil. Inside of the tower is supposed to be a lot of powerful magic, so it makes sense why the Daedra attacked there. If you look at where they've been attacking the Clockwork City, Vvardenfell, the home of the Tribunal, it's a lot of places of power and a lot of powerful magic, so the Crystal Tower would make a lot of sense for their next target. The tower is also a place where Altmar studied the arcane arts, so I'm super hopeful that we get spellcrafting with his expansion too. Fingers crossed for that. And then what about the Golden Knight that's mentioned in the prophecy? Well, the Golden Knight is probably Darien if you remember him from the Daggerfall Covenant questline. He seemed to die at the end of the main story, but it's revealed later on that he survived and is now trapped in the Colored Rooms, which is the realm of the Daedric Prince Meridia. The servants of Meridia often dress in gold, which we've seen in past Elder Scrolls games, so it's likely Darien now serves Meridia and will return for the future expansion. I think that's really awesome. Like a lot of people, he's one of my favorite characters, so I'm super psyched to see him return. Right now, the only Summerset Isles zone we have is Arden, so the expansion would probably be all of the mainland, which makes sense because it's basically the same size as Vvardenfell, which was the last expansion we got. Not a lot is known about the Summerset Isles because we haven't really seen a modern Elder Scrolls game there, but you can see a map on the screen of some of the cities and important areas that are supposed to be on the continent. For the expansion, I think this would be a perfect time for ZeniMax to introduce spellcrafting like I talked about before. It's definitely something the community would really love and would bring so much creativity to the game to be able to make your own skills. Maybe we'll see another class like we had in Morrowind. I don't think if we have spellcrafting is totally necessary, but it's definitely possible. In other systems, ZeniMax has teased but never released is horse racing, so maybe that will finally come to light. Personally, I think all of those are good ideas, and just as long as the expansion has some extra content and brings fresh stuff to the game, I'll be happy either way. Whatever they end up doing, I would expect another lengthy quest line, maybe 1 or 2 new systems and a dungeon or trial, so that's kind of what I would expect in terms of the expansion. And that pretty much does it for the video, guys, so I hope you learned something new. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see from a Summerset Isles expansion and what you think it might look like. If you guys liked the video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more ESO content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Expect the results for the giveaway coming this weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.